to our first official episode of Those Fucking Vegans.
Today is our first official episode and Thanksgiving special. And tonight is the desserts.
Yes, we're cooking late night for you guys because we know that everyone who cooks for Thanksgiving really starts the cooking the day or night before.
Yeah, because we procrastinate, so.
Yeah, typical college students.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start off with apple cinnamon rolls and later
a maple pecan pie.
Yes.
Are you hungry yet? Well, you should be. All right, so we're gonna start off with the cinnamon rolls, and to do that we're going to start making the dough, which is probably the hardest part of it all.
It's very hard.
So the very beginning,
you're going to take 1 cup of almond milk, cashew milk, just non-dairy milk. Okay, you're gonna put it in a nice little bowl.
And keep it on like a low heat.
Yeah.
We don't want this mixture to boil. We just want it to warm up because anything hotter than just lukewarm or a little bit warm will deactivate any sort of yeast.
Yeah. And then 3 tablespoons, we use Earth Balance butter. Okay, so 3 tablespoons of
But Smart Balance is also a great brand. Any non-dairy butter.
Okay, excuse me. Okay. We're just gonna swoop, mix this up. We'll kind of just let it melt. So now the butter has melted nicely with almond milk. So you just set it aside until it's how, like lukewarm, you would say?
Yeah,
right.
Nice and warm, not boiling, but you gotta set it aside because if you keep it as hot as it is right from the stove, it'll deactivate the yeast.
Yeah, and you do not want that. So just set it aside and wait. The patience is key.
All right, now that your milk and butter mixture is a nice lukewarm temperature, you're gonna add in 2 1/4 teaspoon of instant dry yeast. You sprinkle it in there and you're gonna have to let it activate for 10 minutes. All right, so we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of sugar. Ooh, it's a bubbling. It's a bubbling. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then we stir, my friends. We stir. So now that you hooked on your dough hook,
And your yeast is in there.
along with your salt and sugar, you are gonna add your flour.
And 1/2 cup of unbleached all-purpose flour. You're gonna do a 1/2 cup at a time so it can like slowly incorporate it, you know?
That's how the professionals do it.
Yeah, and we're pretty much professionals.
Basically.
Okay, Tiffany went to the bathroom, but while she's in the bathroom, we're gonna put some cinnamon in the bag, babies. I'm gonna put in the flour so it can better incorporate those, so. And then just, yeah, this is how the professionals do it, you know what I'm saying? It's incorporated! Done. Come on over, Tiffany. I'm so glad you came back from the bathroom.
But I missed.
Okay, wait. I incorporated all the flour, but now we need to turn it off because it's getting kind of hard, you know?
Not hard, but really thick.
Yeah.
So it's time to take it off the hook and knead it ourselves. So we just finished kneading the dough and we took it out, we cleaned the mixing bowl, we oiled the mixing bowl with coconut oil, and now that Melissa's away in the bathroom, I'm gonna plastic wrap this bitch. Perfect.
So now, you let that rise for how long?
An hour.
A good hour, because you want this to double in size.
But the party don't stop because while this is rising, you already know what we're gonna make next.
I don't think they know though.
Yes, they do.
Oh yeah, they do.
We're gonna start the maple pecan pie.
Just.
Let's
get those ingredients together. Now that we magically have all the ingredients, you know, Farrah just came by and did it for us. We are now gonna work with our sugar for our maple pecan pie. So put your pan to like a medium heat, and you're gonna first put half a cup of maple syrup. Jam. Okay. Half a cup of
pure cane sugar.
Yes. And another half a cup of light brown sugar. You could use dark brown sugar.
Whatever your heart desires.
Yeah,
really.
it's all the same thing. I kind of like the look of the light. This can go downhill really easily, okay? So you don't want it to ever reach a boil, okay? So you're gonna stir it occasionally for like until it has, you know, little bubbles start to form.
Usually around 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then once you see bubbles forming, that's when you have to stir constantly for 10 minutes straight until you have a nice caramel consistency. Okay, once you have achieved a thick syrup with all your sugars, you're going to add your margarine. Just get all of that in there. Yes. Okay. So you're gonna stir this in. Ooh, look at that. This is sexy. Okay, so we just finished making our caramel, and this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can really see it, but
it smells just like caramel.
Yeah, and it's like buttery, mapley. It's delicious. So
you set it aside in a bowl.
Yes.
And it's okay if it's still warm once you mix everything together. Just let it do its thing.
Yeah.
But now we're going to continue on with the rest of our pie filling, which consists of silken tofu that you can buy at any supermarket. No worries there. 1/4 cup of non-dairy milk. We used almond. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then we have flour over here, or is this cornstarch? No, this is 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch.
Okay, cornstarch, and then we got our half teaspoon of salt.
Yeet.
Okay.
Alright, so we're gonna use a magic bullet. Wish we had a food processor.
Yeah, so if you do have a food processor, totally use that. Don't use a magic bullet. If you have a NutriBullet, that totally works. Or like any blender, you know, you just gotta have a nice consistency.
Just a good blender.
Yeah.
But we're college students. We ain't got the money for a food processor. So this works.
So let's go. Tofu.
What? Well, we crumble it.
Okay. I got too excited.
So
I'm
don't
sorry.
just...
Yeah, don't do what I was just about to do. Yeah, I got too excited.
This tofu crumbles really easily.
Yeah. She explained the silken tofu really well. It's like as if you took tofu, melted it, and then let it cool down again.
Yeah,
it's
like you
that
blended it.
soft and like silky.
If you're wondering what the fuck you could do with silken tofu, pretty much anything that's super creamy. So smoothies, pies.
Do you make a good like cream sauce with that?
For sure.
Alright, okay. Okay, now I'm gonna put in the almond milk. Can I do it?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. You may.
Okay. Vanilla extract.
I'm gonna wash my hands.
I really smell vanilla extract, to be honest. Okay. We got that in there. Our cornstarch. This will, you know, thicken it up. Make sure I get everything in there.
And just so you guys know, the silken tofu for this recipe, we only used about 6 ounces, and the package of tofu has 8 ounces. So we didn't exactly weigh it, but we just kind of cut a little piece off of the package and then used the rest of it in here. Way to go.
Yeah, I did that. I did that.
Wait, no, fuck that. Redo it.
Okay, but I still put a little bit in there. Supposed to be half a teaspoon. I kind of fucked up. So, don't do that. But you can, you know.
Thanks for making it messier.
Yeah. Woo! And I went there.
Alright, so just so you guys see, this is the consistency. Super silky smooth. And then, just gonna poet it up. Alright, so we're gonna add some Flavor Flav. Just a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. Because like, why not?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Ooh, swirl.
Swirl on that bitch. Okay, so as you just saw, we mixed the caramel with the tofu mixture and added a little bit of allspice. And now we're gonna do the last step of adding in our halved pecans.
Pecans! Yes!
Woo!
We're just gonna use 2 packages because,
yeah, who doesn't love pecans? This is a pecan pie, so you gotta stay true. Ooh, whoa, this is like, yeah. So basically what you're gonna see, we're gonna warn you now, it's a little liquidy, but when you put in that pecans, yum, 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 yum.
all right, so we poured in the liquid into our pie. And if you guys are wondering, we just used a pre-made crust. Don't think we have the box, but it's actually
Is it Pillsbury? I thought it was Pillsbury.
It was a Pillsbury pie crust, and it only had wheat ingredients. And yeah, it came out looking great. The mixture tastes great. We tried it with the nuts.
Very good.
Awesome. You don't taste the tofu, so for you guys that are like, I don't really like tofu, I don't like soy. You don't really taste it.
Vegan food. It tastes vegan.
Yeah. So we just put the layer of the pie crust, and then we folded over the extras. We put a fork and pressed it against the edges, and then that's it. And now we're going to preheat the oven to 350 and cook this for about 40 minutes.
Good morning. Okay, so now we have let our dough rise overnight. You don't really technically have to do that. You can do like 1 to 2 hours, but we did that. And we have our parchment paper laid out with flour on top, and Tiffany is gonna do.
I'm gonna do the honors.
Yeah, she's gonna do it.
I also floured up the rolling pin so that it doesn't stick to the dough. And you want your dough flattened out 18 inches by 12 inches. All right, so the parchment paper didn't really work out. So instead, we got the flattest surface we could find in this kitchen, floured it up, refloured the rolling pin, and now we're just gonna press down on the dough to make it flatter. All right, so now that we rolled out the dough, we took a pizza cutter, any fine will do, and we just cut the sides so that it's a perfect rectangle. And now we took a half a cup of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and we made a nice little mixture there in a bowl. We also took 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, melted it in the microwave for about 10 seconds.
And then we just finely chopped 1 green apple, dice it up.
All right, so we're gonna take any brush is fine. Dip it into the coconut oil. We're gonna take our brown sugar and cinnamon mix. I patted down the apples so that there won't be flying apples everywhere.
Right.
And now, I've never done this before, but we're gonna roll.
Okay, so we just cut off 1 inch of both sides, and we measured out 1 inch precisions throughout our roll, and now we're just gonna cut it with this nice knife. Okay, be very gentle. Just let that blade go with it. Don't be too hard with it, or else you may squish your roll.
Alrighty, so Melissa wonderfully cut these cinnamon rolls.
Thank you.
And they look amazing.
Deli.
See. And so we placed them, we were able to fit 12. So hopefully you have an 11 by 13 pan and this will work well for you.
Perfect.
So now we're gonna preheat the oven to 375 and we're gonna let these cook for about 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and then take them out, let them cool. And then we're ready to
Get
serve.
ready. Thanks for watching part 1 of our Thanksgiving episode, and make sure to catch part 2 to see what type of entrees we make.
And don't forget to subscribe.